Hello, dear friends. Well, if you are watching this video in real time, Valentine's Day has officially passed, but we are still in the month of the heart. It is American Heart Month, which is February. And even if you're not watching this in February and you're watching an archived view, it's still important to care for our heart and to do it in a holistic way. Previously, I have covered this topic before about how important integrative cardiovascular care is and how conventional medicine is missing the mark. It is just focusing on lifestyle and cholesterol levels, but there is so much more to keeping our hearts healthy. And we need an individualized approach. So, if you missed out some of those main topics in the last post, I will have a link in the video description. But in this actual video, I want to talk more about how essential oils nurture the heart. And they also are very important for connecting all the different aspects of heart care, which is helping to restore the nervous system tone, which is dealing with stress, and which is also fostering healthy relationships. So, the cool thing about essential oils is that they offer this synergistic blend of hundreds of different compounds in one drop. So, they have many different actions and affect many different organ systems instantaneously and all at once. This is why they have emotional, physical, mental, and spiritual properties. These little secondary plant metabolites, so that means that they're made by the plant and they're metabolized from food of the plant, have very different functions in the plant than just to keep them alive. They are actually what helps the plant thrive, and they do the same for us. They act on both the emotional level and as well as the physiological level. They have an aromatic nature, and because of the aromatic nature, our sense of smell is a profound tool that essential oils take advantage of. They actually directly impact our brain through the limbic system. Smell's the only sense that does that. It's the only sense that goes directly to our emotional brain. No bypass, no relay. It's interpreted directly. If there's no conscious interpretation, there's a subconscious kind of connection that happens when we smell something. And as a result, we get this direct shift in our mood when we smell essential oils. And it also changes our physiology just as quickly. If that scent is calming, it can calm our nervous system down. So this is great for heart health because I've talked in the previous video how the heart has a connection to the brain and how the heart has a connection to the nervous system. So, beyond this impact as well, we know that the heart has been linked to mental health disorders. And essential oils, because of their ability to impact that limbic region, actually can help the brain rewire. In other words, take a different route into a trauma-based response in the brain and actually calm the nervous system down so that those emotions don't get stuck in our head, literally. And this is important because it prevents us from having these emotional triggers and reactions in relationships, which can foster healthy relationships. And we know that isolation and we know that perceived loneliness are two of the main and some of the top risk factors for cardiovascular mortality that isn't often discussed. So, that being all set up as an introduction, I said I wanted to talk more about essential oils for cardiovascular care. In this video, I'm going to specifically talk about 6 of my favorite top essential oils that I've chosen for cardiovascular health based on their distinctive strength, how they help with holistic wellness, and how they foster healthy relationships and encourage overall well-being. Now, as always, all the resources, references, and links to studies will be available in this accompanying article to this video. So you will want to go ahead and check that out. I actually have a little bit of more information that'll be there for you guys who want to dive into the science and look into some of the peer-reviewed studies or clinical trials. And also, just as a little side note, if you want to see the essential oils that I use specifically in my practice, you will need to sign up for my email list because my email list, I can go ahead and send out associated products. I can't necessarily do that on the blogs and videos because we don't want to mislead you and say that a specific product was tested in a clinical trial when it wasn't. We want to show you what the clinical trials over various products are saying for some standardized essential oils. That is one of the reasons I'm non-branded, as well as the fact that there's many different brands that I don't use that I know are still good. And I don't want people who love essential oils not to get the scientific information just because maybe they have a favorite brand that I'm not using. All right. So that being said, make sure you click on the link to join my email list if you want to find out more, or if you just want to get more tools that are also non-branded as well. Let's start out with the top 6 essential oils. So the first one on the list that I love is Ylang, and that's for a couple of different reasons. First, it has an alluring, enticing scent, so it can help you in the romance department. It's used a lot in the perfume industry. And because there have been some clinical studies that show that Ylang can help balance out the nervous system and calm high blood pressure, even post-surgery. That's some small studies have shown that. It's also been shown to help with radiant skin, help deal with skin issues and problems in that complex. So it helps with a glowing complexion, which can also help you in the romance department. And because it is also calming, it can help you with those emotional triggers in relationships. It can also calm the nervous system down, aiming to help the heart, not just by means of lowering blood pressure if it's already high or keeping blood pressure in balance. But the actual scent has been shown to be linked to enhancing feelings of happiness, promoting gratitude, and nurturing self-worth. So these are all good qualities to have for an oil, making it very versatile for all different aspects of cardiovascular function and for external as well as internal beauty. The second essential oil after ylang-ylang I think about is frankincense, because who doesn't love frankincense? Now, frankincense stands out as one of my favorite essential oils for almost everything because it's very versatile. It has multiple properties. It's been used for centuries, right? It's a very grounding resinous essential oil. Now, the one that I like when I think about heart health is sacred frankincense or Boswellia sacra. And this is because its chemotype, this species has a higher amount of these pinene. And pinene are resilience enhancing, stress relieving. They're known as phytonocides. So those are the smells that the trees emanate when you walk through the different forest. And they were made popular by the Japanese practice of forest bathing. And they found that some of the benefits of being outdoors are related to these pinene or those phytonocides. And they've been linked to lowering cortisol or the stress hormone and helping to boost some of our immune cells, as well as promote an overall sense of calm and well-being, all important for the heart. Now, the cool thing about sacred frankincense too is it also has compounds in it that help promote healthy inflammatory responses, calm the brain down, as I said before, and it also helps with some of the immune issues or inflammation that could compromise blood flow. So we have ylang-ylang, we have sacred frankincense. The third one on my list is rose geranium. And sometimes when our hormones are off balance, that can impact our stress response, our nervous system response, and there's actually hormone receptors in the heart. And the cool thing about essential oils is they possess this wonderful way to influence our hormonal stress brain axis, which has an impact on our heart. And this interaction between the biochemistry of the essential oils and the sense of smell can help us with calming down the stress response through the sense of smell, and then the bioactive compounds can actually help the communication between the brain and the endocrine organs and help to act on different cellular pathways in that aspect. And rose geranium has actually been studied all through different female lifespans as being used to be beneficial. And I'm talking about through pregnancy, through fertility, and through perimenopause and menopause as far as relieving different symptoms. So it's gentle yet powerful. It has this uplifting floral scent and it's great for skin. So we're looking at some of the same properties as ylang-ylang as far as that romantic kind of enticing aroma. And then there's been some different studies that have shown, again, that they can help with hormonal issues. There was one particular very small clinical trial that used 10 essential oils, and they tested to see how this essential oils would impact estrogen levels. And what they found was that geranium and rose oil actually increase salivary estrogen. And I just want to make a little caveat here because essential oils bring balance. They're not estrogenic. So that means that what ends up happening is they help rebalance the hormones. So essential oils are not increasing estrogen, but if this trial was done with postmenopausal women, which it was, their estrogen was already low. So think of essential oils as removing the blocks that keep the body from functioning optimally. Stress is causing the conversion from cholesterol and pregnenolone to go to estrogen, and it's going to cortisol. Essential oils might be able to intercept in that way. All right, now let's go to the fourth oil. So now we're talking about rosemary oil, and this oil is for the opposite of ylang ylang. It's very stimulating, not calming, and it's also great for improving circulation. They have shown in a small study where rosemary oil had stimulatory effects. So it altered brainwave activity, autonomic nervous system, and mood states. You might think of rosemary as something great for memory and energy, and that's one of the reasons why it contains, if you're looking at the Rosemary officinalis chemotype with 1,8-cenol, that's why it's stimulatory and it works on some of those enzymes that help keep our memory sharp. So that's a great one to be stimulatory if someone might have lower blood pressure or they have maybe some adrenal issues. Rosemary would be something I would think of to help increase circulation because you don't want too low circulation. That can cause problems as well. Now, if you have already high blood pressure, I would stay away from the 1,8-cenol chemotype of rosemary. Look for something maybe like a verbena or a different kind of chemotype or species of rosemary. So it can have some of the other more calming constituents and less of that 1,8-cenol in it. All right, the fifth oil, which I think is one of the biggest sleeper oils, it's not as popular as I think it should be, is coriander. And this is interesting because I think of coriander, it has that linalool constituent that's found in lavender that is very popular for relieving anxiety. But it also has different impacts as well as this soothing impact. It actually contains a compound called B-sitosterol, which was shown to support healthy cholesterol levels in rodents per se. And these constituents with that combination of linalool, B-sitosterol can be very beneficial, I think, for heart health and if you're looking at lipids. Coriander has also been described as being an aphrodisiac, analgesiac, which is pain relieving, and has antimicrobial properties. It's also antioxidant and anti-inflammatory. A lot of the oils are too. So this will be really great for promoting healthy circulatory flow. It's another oil that's great for digestive health too. So, stress can hit the gut, so that would be a good thing to help with gut issues as well as stress and heart. So that's why coriander made my list in the top 5. Then I think of bergamot. Bergamot has some pretty impressive human clinical trials. They actually did a meta review, which is a review of different studies for bergamot showing how it is calming to the nervous system, calming to the heart. It influences blood pressure and heart rate variability, and it's very soothing. It's been used by some practitioners and in pre-studies, which means they haven't been published yet, for people undergoing trauma. I love bergamot in my naturopathic practice. It's one of the first ones I look for people who might have some heart issues or related to stress or trauma. I will go to bergamot essential oil to help regulate that and their vagus tone. Okay, so holistic heart health. As you can see, essential oils come in all different ways to help with our nervous system, our stress, our mental state, to foster healthy relationships by making us less emotionally triggered, as well as to increase our own sense of self-worth and grounding so that we're there for other people. You have all of these different properties for holistic health, heart health. At the same time, they have these biochemical properties that are modulating things such as blood pressure and lipids and different aspects that could impact inflammation, as well as circulation and hormone responses, which indirectly impact our heart. So they are great allies. Now, we talked about 6 of my favorite single oils. We talked about Ylang because it's calming to the nervous system. It supports emotional connection and maybe calming to help regulate blood pressure. Sacred frankincense is good for stress resilience, immune support, and circulation in general. Rose geranium if there's any hormone related issues, and also to help with providing heart-centered emotional support. We think about rosemary as something that's stimulating, right? To also help with cognitive clarity. Maybe someone with compromised circulation, low blood pressure would do good with rosemary with a specific chemotype of 1,8-cenol. We talked about coriander, the underrated essential oil, which could potentially support healthy cholesterol levels and also help with digestive and emotional issues related to stress. It has that linalool, like that's been found in lavender essential oil, right, which is calming and helping with anxious-like symptoms. And then bergamot, one of those essential oils that's known to help with anxiety and calming the nervous system, which will also help regulate the heart. So I hope you found this information helpful. I hope that you're going to think of essential oils when you're thinking about integrative heart health care and not just thinking about lifestyle or obsessing over cholesterol levels, because there's a lot more to holistic heart health. And then in an upcoming video, I want to talk about specific blends. So again, make sure that you subscribe to this video channel so you don't miss out, and also to my email list so you get some behind the scene info on the products that I use, which particular ones I use, and then all other some non-branded, just general health information that I don't release on my social media or even can be found on my blog. The link will be in the article in the video description. Thanks a lot for listening. I hope that you have a beautiful day and that you take gentle care.